John Sewell with Engearment.com podcast. Super excited, very grateful to have on the podcast Master Instructor Pavel Macek from Prague. Pavel, welcome to the show.
Sean, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, me too. This has been a year or two in the making. I've been a big fan of Pavel Macek. He's got a fantastic Facebook group, Instagram, Twitter, Simplex Strong website where he tracks old-timey strongman stuff. He's a true Renaissance man, so this is going to be really easy to go down many different paths with you, Pavel. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. Well, a loaded question, a big question. What is your origin story towards becoming a coach in health and fitness?
I was the proverbial small and sick kid. I'm still not a big guy. I'm a rather small guy, but I got so much stronger. When I was a kid, I was an asthmatic kid, non-athletic. And one of my friends, his parents were in embassy in China. And when they came back, I was around maybe 8, 9 years old or something like this. They brought all these old VHS tapes with Bruce Lee movies and all the other kung fu movies. And we as a kids, of course, loved to watch them, Jackie Chan and all the others. And of course, I wanted to become a superhero, right? But if you are wheezing and sneezing, small, fragile, overprotected kid, that's kind of difficult. So I started to train. One of my teachers, a PT teacher, he was a good friend of my father. And of course, neither my father or this coach, they wanted me to stay small and sick and weak. So they kind of made a deal, and I had to do my homework. Other kids, they come from their home and they were working math or languages or biology or whatnot. But I was going to run and throw and lift and do all the other stuff. And later Chinese martial arts. And this is the origin story, sir.
Well, that's a fantastic origin story. And I know you shared it with Mike and Chris on their Breakthrough Secrets podcast. And I love that podcast. You were on there twice, I believe. Was that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I enjoy it very much. Great guys.
They really are. And thank you for sharing the origin story with us. And okay, what is your path to working with Pavel and StrongFirst, which you are a master instructor and a great example of the School of Strength? Well, what was the path for you?
Mm-hmm. As I mentioned, I trained Chinese martial arts first in my country, in Prague, in Czechia, and later in United States, in San Francisco, under the guidance of Wong Yu-ching Sifu of San Francisco. And thanks to him and his family, I got to Hong Kong to train with the famous Lam family, with Lam Chansing Sifu, his brothers, and later in China as well. Of course, I was always looking for the best available methods of strength and conditioning. And like most of the martial artists, I tried everything from light dumbbells to machines to whatnot. And I kept searching, and I found this book called The Naked Warrior, which has a pretty intriguing title. Right. So I got the book, started reading, and just flipped through the pages of the book and tried the one-arm push-up and single leg squat and failed miserably. I wasn't able to do it. So I started to read from the beginning. And what I have noticed is that the author of the book, Pavel Tsatsouline, he was actually explaining many of the principles that I learned in my Chinese martial arts training. My style is called Honggen. I practice and teach other styles as well, but we are truly hard style. So we pay lots of attention to physical prowess, to physical power, to speed, strength, conditioning, and so on. So the principles that Pavel was teaching, such as grab the floor, corkscrew, use the lats, use the breathing, work with your diaphragm, pelvic floor, etc., etc. I already knew that from some kind of internal exercises exercises from our style. But I just never thought that these same principles can be applied to strength training and to very different kind of strength training. I would say true strength training, low rep or relatively heavy. The method was very different from everything that I knew. The famous grease the groove method, when you do relatively easy sets of 2 or 3 reps throughout the day. The exercise selection also quite different. 1 leg squats and 1 arm push-ups, and the progressions leading up to them. And I followed the method. I applied everything, or I tried to apply everything that Pavel was teaching in the book. And guess what? In a couple of days, I was able to do 1 arm push-up and single leg squat. And I thought, wow, this is really something. It is a true principle-based system, principle-based method. So I started to research what else has Pavel in store. I discovered his flexibility books. I got more flexible in no time. I discovered his joint mobility books, and of course, other strength training books, kettlebell and barbell. And I was hooked immediately. I remember seeing the bench press, the kettlebell bench press in the old Russian kettlebell challenge book. And I just thought, man, I need to learn this. And I started to train on my own, trial and error, learn from Pavel's videos, from his books. I purchased the complete set of kettlebells from 4 kilo to 32 kilo at that time, and started to train on my own. And guess what? A couple of years later, me and my wife, we got certified in 2012, and that's the first time I met Pavel. And like it is said, the rest is the history. So I'm very, very grateful for all these coincidences. And I have to say that it truly changed my life and enhanced the overall quality of my life, not only as for health and strength, but I would say the general approach. So this is a huge shout out to Pavel and to all my StrongFirst colleagues, my dear teachers and dear friends. Thank you very much all.
That's a beautiful, beautiful thing you said there. And I agree. Like you, I got into StrongFirst through Eric Frohart, actually, and learned all the principles, SFG, SFB, SFL. And it has enriched my life and everybody I know as well. And I can honestly say, because of StrongFirst, because of Pavel, because of Eric, a lot of deep connections and good friendships. So it's a true school of strength for sure. This is beautiful. And actually, I briefly was in your presence, you and your wife, when you were out here in Denver at the Strong Endurance in 2017. And you guys were talking to Gray Cook. I wasn't going to interrupt you and Gray Cook talking, but I recognized you guys. And that was a beautiful event too. And that's one of the things I love about StrongFirst is the other seminars, other courses. My favorite was the Strong Endurance, and I think was probably one of your favorites, but I think your actual favorite is the Second Wind.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of Second Wind. I attended, I think 3 or 4 times, and of course I got the Second Wind Express online course, and I'm doing the exercises on regular basis. I'm teaching the exercises, and I'm just amazed by the results. So this is probably my favorite StrongFirst special course. There are other people who are better at, let's say, programming, way better than I am. Fabio Zonin and other ladies and gentlemen, right, from our community. There are other specialists as for the strong endurance. Derek Toshner and his brother Ryan, other guys as well. So whenever somebody asks me about, let's say, Plan Strong programming or strong endurance programming, I refer them to these guys because they are way better than I am. As for the breathing, I would say this is one of my specialties. This is something that I've been interested in since basically I was a kid, because I was an asthmatic and sick kid, and the breathing, various methods that I learned in China and the methods that I learned from Pavel help my health, my endurance, my calmness of the mind, my focus, and many other things. So I'm a huge fan of the Second Wind, and I just can't recommend it enough.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna buy the Second Wind Express for sure, the online version. And speaking of seminars, the Strong Endurance we will have here in Denver. Pavel was
Mhm.
here last November.
Mhm.
He'll be here this November, and that's open
Mhm.
for anybody listening or viewing to attend. And it is fantastic. And I'll have it at our gym, so I will see you guys there. Hopefully, some of you there will come and say hello.
Perfect. For the people, for your listeners who don't know about this strong endurance, I would say that this is true game changer in endurance training. And not only you will improve your performance, and it doesn't matter what you do, if you are an MMA fighter or runner or basketball player or a regular kettlebell lifter, so you will improve your performance for sure, but you will also pay way less biological price for your training. So you will increase your performance, your athletic longevity, and longevity as well. Heck, you will get younger by doing this strong endurance protocol.
And that is true. We had Dr. Craig Marker on a few times, and I've shared notes with him. Heck, I wrote a article with Pavel and Eric Frohart using strong endurance protocols to enhance our ski season. And out here in
Mhm.
Colorado, we do backcountry skiing and splitboarding, and it really does work. Heart rate variability went up, resting heart rate went down, and Craig
Mhm.
tested his telomeres, and they were like representative of a person like 14 years younger than his biological age. So yeah, it really true does make you younger. It's amazing stuff.
Test it on people.
That's right. Well, I want to bring attention to your course, the Resilient. Everybody's asking about it. Are you going to be doing any more of these?
Certainly, certainly will. If as the Stoic philosophers say, if fortuna allows, courses in Europe. We have one upcoming next year in France, and hopefully we'll get the StrongFirst Resilient course to United States again. I was teaching the very first US one live in Los Angeles, and that was amazing. Due to the COVID pandemic, I was scheduled to teach two more events in US last year. So we did them hybrid. I was coaching online, and we had leadership at the spot guys who have attended the course before. But we got quite a lot of requests, which makes me very happy. So hopefully we will make it happen next year or as soon as possible.
Well, sign me up. I know Matthew Flaherty will sign up immediately as well. I know a lot of people who will sign up for sure on that. And what is the creation of that? How did you go about creating the Resilient course?
Mm-hmm. I was reading some of Pavel's older books and doing lots of notes. And I have noticed that there is a certain theme in some of his articles and in some of his books, which I called at that time anti-fragility or resilient line. So some, let's say, variations of the exercises or other exercises, which are not what the usual so-called fitness industry would call safe. But me being a martial artist, I trained Chinese martial arts for many years. Since 1991, I started to learn and eventually teach MMA, mixed martial arts as well. We get in all different kind of positions. Not all of them are 100% safe or, let's say, mechanically strongest, but you get there if you want or if you don't want to. If you play, let's say, ball games, soccer, American football, any type of contact sport, or even in life, you will slip and whatnot, right? So Pavel was teaching some of the exercises that looked kind of weird. We all know that when we deadlift or when we swing, we keep our spine neutral. But when you are going to execute, let's say, a double leg takedown and it doesn't go perfect, your opponent will sprawl, you are bent forward, you still need to finish the takedown. You will be in all different kind of positions and angles. So you better visit them in your training somehow safely, and you better get stronger in those positions as well. So it is not like doing your deadlift with a rounded back, because this is the best way how to get hurt. But once you learn your fundamental lifts, let's say our foundational kettlebell lifts or barbell lifts, body weight lifts, then you can start to work on variations and then break some of the rules on the purpose. So you may do stuff like a Jefferson curl, or let's say hacky deadlift when the spine goes into flexion and torsion as well. But you are doing it on purpose with a very specific weight, and not to get injured, but to get stronger, to develop so-called in-between strength, as Marty Gallagher calls it. And I was talking about it with Pavel when we met at one of the leadership meetings. I actually prepared a small course for my students here in Prague. And Pavel said, that's interesting. Please keep working on that project and do it in English. So I was working on the manual, then other work come by, and about half a year later, Pavel sent me an email and he asked me, so how is your project going on? And I said, oh, damn. Okay, so I put all my notes together that I gathered throughout the months, sent him the manuscript of the manual. Pavel liked it very much and asked me to finish it as a day and a half special course. So that's what I did. I wrote a very detailed manual, and it is also the very first StrongFirst manual with pictures. So all exercises have a great black and white pictures of me and my wife Justina doing the exercises.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a lot of work you put into, I know. I cannot wait till you can present it here. And I will, like I said, be the first one to sign up for that. What a fun story you created for your people in Prague. Pavel liked it so much that it elaborated into what it is now.
And the funny thing is that it's truly StrongFirst Resilient by Pavel, because it is all my teachers, Pavel Tsatsouline's teaching. I just put it in a step-by-step manner, the way that we like it at StrongFirst. So anybody can learn it and anybody can profit and reap the benefits from the exercises.
That was very kind of you. You're good at giving credit for sure. It is appreciated. Here's a fun topic. So what do you do for fun? You're a Renaissance man. You have so many hobbies. I can't keep up with all the things you're involved in, but what do you do to recharge and have fun?
Since I was a kid, I was a very curious kid. So there are lots of things that interest me. And on the other hand, I suck at others. For example, I can't drive a car. It just never interested me, right? So yes, I know a lot about some stuff, but I can't do everything. So since I was a kid, I was interested in biology. Then later in history, I started to read a lot since I was like 5 or 6 years old, and my dear mom, she kept just buying me all the books. Then when I started to train Chinese martial arts, our teacher at that time, he said, Chinese Kung Fu is a philosophy. So I asked my mom to buy me some philosophy books, and she actually chose pretty good books, some books about Zen Buddhism and about Buddhism. My favorite philosopher, one of my favorites, Friedrich Nietzsche, a couple of other philosophy books. So that's when I eventually end up studying humanities, and my main interest was philosophy, especially the ancient philosophy, so-called pre-Socratic philosophy, Old Greek philosophy, and then psychology, especially the works of Carl Gustav Jung, and later also evolutionary psychology. So this is my education, humanities. Then I train martial arts and started to be interested in everything that it will encompass, such as healthy lifestyles in general, how to sleep, what to eat, how to breathe, how to calm the mind. So I would say that the things that I'm interested in is generally personal development, and I'm testing the stuff on myself. And if I found out that some stuff is beneficial, such as fasting or cold exposure or strength training or meditation, I teach it to my students. Your question was as People already know that they shouldn't bother me with tons of emails or messages or phone calls. I value my private time a lot. So I read a book, I drink tea, pet my cats, I go for a walk, I go for a hike. I like to spend a lot of time in the nature. If I can't go to the nature, I go to a park, basically on regular basis. So the way that I find out that helps me to recharge goes mainly into the calm direction. I train martial arts 4 or 5 times a week and teach. I lift relatively heavy 3 times a week. I do my morning recharge, so I have lots of activities. So I relax, just read a book, drink a tea, meditate, look into some green leaves in the nature, listen to the birds, and just switch off. Especially switch off the any of the modern technologies and social media and stuff. So this is the way how I relax and recharge.
Oh, I love it, Pavel. That is spot on. I can relate to that. And I was talking to Brett Jones about his relaxation and hiking. In our world here in Engearment, here in Colorado, that's our go-to. I go camping every Tuesday and Friday night. I'm in the mountains as often as possible with my dogs and my wife very often. And that's my happy place where I go and recharge, like you said. Look at the leaves. Actually, we have snow coming down today, which is amazing. Yeah, so that's very relatable. I'm glad you shared that with us. Nature, it's fantastic. It doesn't require anything to enter. Just you go into it and you're present and you observe animals if they're up. We saw a porcupine this week and went on a hike, and it went well. Porcupine could have gone bad, but yeah, no quills in the dogs. Everybody's happy. But yeah, nature. I'm so glad to hear about the nature.
I just listened to some podcast a couple of months ago, and there was this research about so-called blue zones. So the zones where people live, centurions when they live 100 years and more. And they were thinking, what the hell is it? Is it food? Is it some kind of special water? Or what is it? And they find out that there are actually 3 main things. And these were spending as much time in the nature. And I heard in another podcast that just having a tree outside your window already helps a lot. So that was the first thing, spending as much time in nature as you can. Second was community. So these were usually small towns or villages where people still were living family life. So big families, and then the neighbors, and they, in the afternoon they get the chairs out and just spend time with their friends, talking, quarreling, doesn't matter, but still community. And third was some kind of spiritual practice. It might have been organized religion or just any type of, let's say, spiritual life. So nature, then community. We are social animals, right? And then the third was some kind of spiritual practice, or yes, yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's spot on, 100%. And again, to speak to your point, when I go into nature, if it's not by myself, I bring friends, right? Because it's a community. And fortunately, like you and like myself, we're coaches and teachers, so we have a community right there, and it gives us purpose. And then having some spiritual or religious practice is key. And for me, my church is nature. So I love being out there. It's fantastic. So what is the terrain like outside of Prague there? What do you have access to?
Around Prague. Basically, first of all, Prague is the most beautiful city in the world. When I say to my friends, they say, yeah, whatever. And then later they come to Prague and they are just amazed. And I just read in the newspapers the other day that it was actually voted the most beautiful city in the world. So guys, if you haven't been here, it is heart of Europe, magical city. So you have to come here. We have very long history. We were today with 2 of my buddies, MMA fighters. I go hiking with these guys quite often. And we are just talking about the nature and about small villages. The thing is, you go into some small village pretty close to Prague or anywhere in my country, Czechia, and you think that it's like maybe 60 years old or something, and then you find out that it was actually built in 12th century or something, right? So you guys in US, you were not even there. So and we already had big cities and villages. So this is something in Europe generally. We have very long history, which is very fascinating. I'm a huge fan. But think of it, just go through a small village. It's 12th century. So this is for cities, let's say, and villages, and we have everything. It's not that big and possibly not that beautiful as you have in Colorado. I've been there and I love it very much. But the important thing is you get away from the computer screen and then just switch off, sleep outside. Wake up, the sun will wake you up, the birds and your friends are laughing, and this is awesome.
That is very awesome, Pavel. I can empathize what you're saying so much. Yeah, there's something primal and recharging about sleeping on the ground. Obviously, I'm probably in a mat in a tent more than likely, but I have friends that sleep under a tarp, and they love it. It recharges. Also, we've talked to Dr. Craig Marker about the science of sleep, colder temperatures, the rhythms, some kind of the sleeping cycle. Some people are polyphasic sleeping cycles. There's so many things we can get just back to that are pretty much free to access, that are so therapeutic and recharging. I'm glad to hear it coming from you. It carries a lot more volume than just me saying it to more people as well. So yeah, we're on the same page with getting outside and turning things off. Often where I take people, there's no cell service. I'll bring in a GPS unit just for backup in case they have family they need to get a hold of. But other than that, it's nice to check out of social media, check out of the emails, and just go be present in nature, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's so many.
Really agree.
Absolutely, there's so many questions I want to ask you on the things you're involved in. The Simplex Strong. Let's start with that. How did that become? How did you find these resources, and how do you maintain this constant update of awesome strongman history?
Like I mentioned before, when I saw the Pavel's original book, the Russian Kettlebell Challenge, and I like the old-time strongman lifts, such as the bench press, very much, and the general culture of the old-time strongman, because they were universal soldiers, so to speak. So they were lifting kettlebells, barbells, dumbbells. They were doing body weight stunts, hand balancing, boxing, wrestling, fencing. So full image, everything, right? And I like the culture very much. They also had very high moral standards. If you read about guys such as Sigmund Klein and all the Grimek and the other guys, so I liked that also very much. So I started to collect the old magazines, such as Health and Strength, collect all the old manuals, and started to do some research, all the old-time strongman training and lifting. First, of course, kettlebells, because I train with kettlebells so much, thanks to Pavel and to StrongFirst, and later on also other modalities, especially dumbbell. I'm a huge fan of dumbbell, and I'm actually working for last maybe 5 years or something on developing a hardtime dumbbell lifting program. So let's see how it goes.
Oh, that's awesome. I am super intrigued by that. And you do a meticulous job of updating it. Just was it a day or two ago, 3 days ago, the lineage of lifted weights, like the Chinese one, the Greek one. That's fascinating. So kettlebells are not, and lifting weights is not new. It's been around for a long time. Oh, this is fascinating. Well, speaking of creating, you have several courses. Can you tell me about some of those courses? The Great Gamma, perhaps?
Mhm. The thing is, I'm always working on multiple projects, so I never have a writer's block because if I get bored or stuck somewhere, I just switch to something else. And when the pandemic hit, we had to close our gym and for actually a couple of months. And of course, financially, it wasn't that good. So one of my good friends and student, he's a high-level photographer and film producer right now as well. So he called me and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna shoot an online course for you if you like to, because I also have no job right now. I have free time, so let's do something." So I went through some of my notes and put together something that I've been doing for last couple of months. I put all my notes together and we shot my first online course, which is called the Great Gamma Protocol in honor of the famous wrestler. Actually, he was a Pakistani, if I'm not mistaken. Usually people say Indian wrestler. And this is basically a program of Chinese and Indian calisthenic exercises. I like to call them loaded mobility. If the practitioner is not in a good shape, it is also a strength training. It is a conditioning training. You will get stronger. You will improve your conditioning, not only through the exercises, but specific modes of breathing. So the program basically consists of the Indian wrestlers version of sun salutation, which is done a little bit faster than, let's say, in Ashtanga yoga and in other branches, Hindu push-ups and Hindu squats. And I have added a third exercise, thoracic bridge. So it is basically a program of big two or big three. And I put it in step-by-step manner, different progressions, regressions, and I had really good results with using it as a morning recharge. It doesn't take long to do it in the morning, and I had, as I said, great results, great health benefits, improving my mobility, my overall strength, getting rid of some of the old aches by my left shoulder that I injured years ago in martial arts training. So we put it out there. The course is shot in a beautiful black and white Sin City-like way. So we got lots of messages, people praising the quality of the video. I wrote a short manual, and right now I have more than 500 people on that course, doing that course. Wow. And I'm constantly getting feedback and praises that people are still doing it every day in the morning, and that they improve their health, their strength, their conditioning, their mobility, flexibility. So very simple program done in a couple of minutes in the morning, and huge benefits. So this was my first online course. And it was a prequel to my biggest project so far, which is called The Forge.
Ooh, fun. Well, sign me up. I'm going to buy the Great Gamma after this immediately, because I need a new routine and I want to support your business. And 500 people, that is an impressive amount of students. Well deserved, man. Well deserved. So what is The Forge? I'm intrigued. What is The Forge?
Years ago, we had on my Czech website, we had some kind of community event. We call it KB5 Challenge. My school is called KB5. So what we did is for 12 months, every month, we gave a specific challenge to our readers and to our fans. Something that they can implement into their practice or in their lifestyle, and do it for 1 month. And if they find out that actually they like it and it helps them to improve whatever their quality of life, let's say, then just keep doing it. And if you like to, next month, try another challenge. So everybody will basically put together a certain set of lifestyle habits or exercises that they will be doing for some extended period of time. So, for example, the first one was a simple breathing exercise that you will do every single morning, basically forward, backward bend, something that I learned from one of my Chinese martial arts teacher. Second was even more simpler. It was drinking every morning a glass of water, half hot, half cold, with lemon and salt, right? And again, do it every morning. Then we had some simple stretches, some let's say cold exposure, some healthy diet tip, and so on and so forth. And the response was pretty awesome. So people loved it very much. It was so successful that we did another 12 months, year or 2 years later. So altogether, it was 24 different habits slash exercises slash I don't know. Some of it was dedicated training. Let's say in the morning you do your breathing exercises. Some where, let's say, you do it occasionally. Let's say prolonged fast, right? 3 or 4 times a year, 3 to 5 days fast. So when my friend asked me, hey, the Great Gamma Protocol was a huge success. Let's do something else. Let's do something big. So I thought, you know what? Maybe we could do KB5 challenge, do it in English. So I went through all the old articles, the old videos, updated them, added some more stuff. And right now it is close to 60 lessons. Every week, the student gets, they are actually 4-week blocks. So let's say the first block is morning recharge. Then the next 4-week block might be, let's say, healthy diet and drinking habits, and 4 lessons, always 4 lessons. Body weight strength training, 4 lessons. Some habits that you can do throughout the day, such as void sitting and some simple stretch, and so on and so forth. So I put together all my notes. We were shooting the course for 2 or 3 days straight. As I said, almost 60 lessons, and I got my first batch of students. I can't remember how many, but I would say around like 300 students or something like this. So very, very successful again. I was very happy that that people liked it. And of course, I'm collecting all the feedback. And the advantage of the written word and online course such as this, I can always come back to it and always improve it. And as for the Great Gamma Protocol, I'm actually thinking of writing a book in Czech and in English. I already have a draft of the original manual, and after right now it has been 1.5 years, so many people are practicing the protocol, and I am doing it every morning as well. So I have lots of other notes. So we may actually shoot some high professional photographs with my friend Stanislav Petera, and do it as a book in Czech and English. Let's see.
I hope to see that. That is awesome. I love the opportunity that was in front of you, and it was in front of all of us with COVID and closing gyms. I had 2 gyms closed as well. I can appreciate your situation, taking your energy and your creativity, creating a program that's helping 300 people, and then the Forge as well. Like, that is really impressive, Pavel. Hats off to you and your team there, your videographer. Yeah, I've seen the videos. They're really good. And I work in video business. It's high quality for sure.
My friend Stanislav, super awesome guy, high level professional. He's shooting tanks and airplanes and cars and Tibetan monks and Indian yogis. And the fun fact is that actually it is his hobby. So as for profession, he's teaching the photo editing and shooting and stuff, but he does this for fun. So very interesting guy, very enthusiastic. So thank you very much, Standa, again. I'm looking forward to our next projects. I already have 2 or 3 projects on the paper.
Well, I look forward to your upcoming projects, Pavel. Absolutely. Your work is next level, and I mean that sincerely. I create a lot of content, and I create a lot of online businesses and stuff. Yours are next level, and your knowledge base is amazing. We didn't even touch on the oxygen advantage, the flexible steel, which I did my first flexible steel 1 year ago exactly. Love that curriculum. I use that in the beginning of every training session for myself and for my students. We have a lot more to catch up on for sure. Would you love to do a second round here in the future?
Sure, of course. I'm always at your service, sir. So, of course, it would be my pleasure.
Well, thank you. It'd be my pleasure too. And you have a lot of resources. Where would you like me to direct people to find you?
I mean, I have all the main social media channels, but I have to say that I truly enjoy only my Instagram. So if people would like to follow me, they can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or on Twitter or Instagram. So just put my name, which is Pavel Macek, Pavelmacek, and you will find me. I truly enjoy my Instagram. This is my medium because I'm not wasting much time there, and I'm basically sharing always what's on my mind or what I'm doing. So if you like strength training, martial arts, philosophy, psychology, personal development, tea and cats, especially cats, then you got to follow me on my Instagram. But honestly, John, we can get in touch any way you like through your preferred social medium, and I run blog, my training blog at strongfirst.com forum for last maybe 5 or 6 years. And if I'm not mistaken, right now it has over 300,000 reads. So I'm happy that people enjoy it and they come and learn and ask and discuss. So this is also another way how to get in touch on StrongFirst forum. And if you have any question, just do it on the forum. Just post the question to the forum and tag me, or in the StrongFirst Facebook group. Then the same thing. Just post the question there and tag me, and I'll be always at your service and much obliged to help. I mean. Your readers, not you, Sean, right?
Absolutely.
Anybody, your listeners.
Well, I really appreciate that. And the information you put out for free, I can't imagine your paid content. And I'm going to sign for the Great Grandma Protocol in like 15 minutes, and so I can benefit from your knowledge as well. And I'll have links below for every resource that Pavel mentioned, as well as his website, and ways to get a hold of him and to hire him for the Forge, Great Grandma Protocol, and other resources. Pavel, thank you so much for your time. This was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Great to talk to you, and hope not only to talk in the Matrix in the future, but also meet you again in your beautiful country. And we have time, we'll go for a hike. How about that?
It would be my honor. I would love to go hiking with you, Pavel. That would be a dream come true. I really appreciate that. And Engearment.com viewers and listeners, thank you for checking us out. Pavel Macek, a hero and a mentor of mine. It's been a fun time. All the resources below. Until next time, take care.